trade talks between the EU and the UK are coming to an end as the deadline for finalising Brexit looms closer. The clock is ticking for both sides to fine-tune the minute details of a potential deal. The sides have said they are millimetres from their red lines, leaving very little room for much more negotiation. Well, let's get the latest developments and go to Brussels to speak to our correspondent, Shona Murray. Shona, good morning to you. So, millimetres from their red lines, but there's only 27 days until the deadline. We keep saying it's crunch time. We keep saying it's a critical week. Where are we now with both sides?
Yes, Rosie, like you said, they're about to conclude, but will they conclude successfully? That's, I suppose, the key question here. We've just heard in the last little while that the British Business Secretary said that the EU has sort of imposed even more positions when it comes to level playing field, and that talks haven't gone well the last 24 hours. The level playing field issue has always been a sticking point since the both sides started negotiating in the past, few months. It essentially means that if the UK is exporting into the EU single market, exporting agricultural goods, cars, you name it, they have to abide by the same production standards as the rest of the single market, so to provide fair competition and not undercut the rest of the member states. Now, the UK sees this as really a threat to its sovereignty, and that the whole point of Brexit was that they could diverge in any ways that they want, but the EU says that they can't do that. They have to protect their own single market. So anything that goes into the EU really needs to be monitored, and it has to have the same standards. And that's a huge sticking point. We heard that Michel Barnier has also become a little bit more hardline when it comes to this issue, and it comes to fisheries as well. And we've heard too that President Macron of France is the one pushing this harder line. So is this sort of the drama that happens before a deal is sealed? That's kind of a question. But there are very few days left. In theory, really needs to be signed off by Monday. I know we've said that before, but really in terms of the member states having ratified it, for the Parliament to ratify it, for it to be placed in January 1st, and crucially in relation to the Internal Markets Bill, which was that offending legislation that breached the withdrawal agreement, that's coming back to the House of the Commons next week. So the deal on the trade and the future relationship has to be settled before it comes to the House of Commons. So it's touch and go, Rosie, and we'll, I suppose, see you over the next few days.
Shona, thank you very much. Our correspondent there in Brussels.